Okay, we're here at Hildebrand Machinery, doing this video for Josh. I'd like to thank you for your patience. I'll point out to you what we were working on, and like I said, mainly the reason I made you wait this long is because we were just busy in the warehouse, and I don't have enough guys to move machinery and fix machinery all at the same time. So, but everything's squared away, and we'll go from here. As you can see, this is the lathe right here. I'll start with a control cabinet, and the control cabinet luckily is just big plugs. We can just unplug it. There won't be 1,000 wires that you have to deal with when you get it. The machine is running 440 3-phase right now. Here's a shot of the inside of the cabinet. All basic simple electrics pretty much, which is nice. No PLCs or anything crazy. And then those are just our power leads going into the machine, that short little section there. So nice clean cabinet. Around to the back here. I'll do the headstock here, and then we'll go through all the speeds and everything. Should lower your threading plate and everything. Now that there's a switch there. Here, this is just the end quadrant box. You can see a switch mounted here. We just opened it and it shut the machine down. So you just have to obviously close this and restart the machine. But here are the end quadrant gears. Your father had asked me about this originally. As you can see, they are here. And then what is missing, like I said, the machine's capable of inch metric threading, but what is missing is the larger 127 tooth gear, I believe, to actually cut metric threads. But the gears, what you need these here to cut standard threads and everything. So we'll button that back up. This is the spindle nose here. There was a chuck on the machine originally. I like to take them off. I know people like to hear it with a chuck running, but a lot of times if we leave a chuck on, we don't know if it's ever been off or not, and it's rusty behind it or whatever. So I just make it a point to take them off, clean them, make sure the taper's clean, no one's crashed it hard or anything crazy. So all that looks good. You have some way guards here, which is always a nice feature. And then we have our carriage. Tool post. This tool post will go with the machine. There's the track digital readout, and we'll see that in operation. What we had apart here is the front part of the carriage. These 4 buttons here are your rapid traverse, and we had the rapid traverse working everywhere except for the cross slide. It worked one way, but for one reason didn't work another. Basically what we did was take the front of it apart, pull it out, and we cleaned it, and we blew out a line.
Yep.
And I really think we just kind of had a clogged line, because when we engaged it first, it wanted to go, but just wouldn't. And when we did our initial test run, it actually worked fine. I had no idea there would be an issue. We just turned it on and had that issue. So anyways, the people that were using this lathe before were actually machining a non-metallic material. I don't know what it was, but in our business, I just know it wasn't graphite, which would have been really bad. And I can say with 100% certainty there was no graphite involved. But this kind of fibrous material just got everywhere. It was very messy. We did a lot of cleaning on the machine, but just because of this stuff is just dusty and all over the place, and I think it just got in there and made for a gunky mess and clogged something up. And anyways, it's all back together, fixed, running fine. I'll show you that in a minute. And then it just took a little bit of time to take all this apart, look at it, clean it, put it back together. There's the rest of the way surfaces, and the ways are, nice. Very, very nice. Not a hard to use machine by any stretch. There's your steady rest. And 4-jaw. The 3-jaw is what was mounted on it. There's a couple drive plates here. This 4-jaw, the company that bought this thing was new in the box. I don't think it's ever been used. It was wrapped in the original shipping paper, so it's a Bison, I believe, and it's going to be a nice chuck. And there's your tailstock. And all that works. Let's see if I can kind of get one hand. If you saw the tailstock on back there. You want to work that tailstock for me, please? All that work. There's the crank for the tailstock. Just runs off the. That's nice and smooth. And there's the bottom clamp for the tailstock. That's there. There's your back pan for coolant and everything. Back shot of the track. Here's the reader head for the longitudinal and for the cross. So that's why I like tracks. There's no long scales involved. And then that's just the back end of the headstock there. Main motor goes right back in the machine. Actually, that's probably going to be the only, probably some motor leads. You'll probably have to hook up motor leads, but that'll all be match marked. It'll be very easy to just see what goes where. My guys are very good at match marking all that stuff. And just so you know, I mean, we do have these chucks sitting on some rubber material. We didn't just chuck it right there in the middle of the bed to leave marks. And it won't ship this way. I mean, all this loose stuff will be packed up. I have a box, something, I'll find something to pack it all in. It won't just ride on the bed like this. Okay, let's okay, so there's the rapid traverse. The forward is what we had the problem with. Reverse worked fine, but as you can see now, we have it all working. What speed was that?
7.1.
Okay, so that was the bottom there. 7.1 it was in.
Well, we have, then I guess a 6.9.
Oh.
Okay, see how slow it is?
Yep.
I think it's fast.
2-speed, okay. Started 8.7, then went to 9. I don't want to call it the high speed option. We'll just say the second speed on the ratio there. Wait. That's 22.4, sorry. Okay, there's 18 right there. We're not going exactly in order, but we're getting all the speeds is the point. Sorry, not the best cameraman. We'll worry. He was messing with the feeds. We'll do the feeds in a minute. We'll just worry about the speeds right now. Okay, where were we there?
That should have been around 45.
Okay. That should have been 45 RPM. Gotta jog it a little to get everything in its place. There we go. Just had to get the handles right. Where were you there? What speed was that?
Like 680? That would be on this one.
Okay, there's 680 then. There. No, not quite. Looks like that's 710. We really haven't taken the time to exactly figure out, my guys need a little bit more time than I usually give them to become really familiar with where the positions are and the handles and everything, but like I said, we're hitting all the speeds is the point. Belts squeal a little bit when it takes off. There's a lot of torque there on them. That's high speed right there. That should be 900 RPM. Headstock sounds good the whole way through the machine. Let's just we'll drop down to a lower speed and then we'll run through some feeds. Cross slide feed. Back the other way. That red button over there kicks it out. Okay. just need to engage the lead screw, and then okay, there's the lead screw engaged. There's your half nut right there. Okay. There's the half nut dial turning when not engaged. It is, yeah, you gotta get, it's a little glare there. I mean, everything's legible on it. So that is everything on the machine. That's not every feed, but we go through them. It's all in fine working order. I have no reservations about it. I think you'd be getting a nice machine. So go ahead and just watch the whole video, let me know what you think, and go from there.